into our meditation posture. So feet flat on the floor, knees about a hip's width apart, shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just imagine you're lengthening. Take a nice deep breath. And this is the time of night where we have an opportunity to go inwards as we prepare to go to sleep. So it's kind of important that we try and get on top of our sleep, particularly as we get older. For some, it gets more difficult. So I think the best we can do in the evening is to try and just wind down at least an hour before we go to bed. And this is part of that process. And then to keep ourselves away from too much digital activity. So just take your mind away from the events of today. Just for a moment, bring your mind inwards. And just imagine you're nicely aligned. And go to the crown of the head and relax the scalp there, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, back of the head, back of the neck. And allow your shoulders and your shoulder blades just to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, the belly, and all of your limbs. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And notice the sounds in your environment and just allow them to be there if you have sounds. I still have the air filter going. Then notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. And the benefit of doing this every day over and over again is that you become familiar with exploring what's going on. And it doesn't become this kind of scary, judgmental thing. It's an approach of curiosity, looking with amazement, curiosity, amazement, and compassion towards yourself. I mean, if you see some jealousy arising, you might want to sort of think about, oh gosh, I'm so glad to have seen that. Now I can do something about this. And then that's the next step. Perhaps journaling is a good way to deal with these kinds of emotions. So rather than criticizing yourself, when you see some of these delusions arising, rejoice that you've actually spotted it. Well done. Good to recognize that. And then you can move forward. So then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, and those people in your life who are not so beloved. There's some people in our lives who are a bit more difficult, and then there's our strangers. And imagine they're all changing place, these relationships. And then remember they're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life and by extension, all sentient beings. So remembering there is no negativity, that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one, because we're working with the mind. We create negativity with our minds, so we can equally change that and create positivity instead. So starting with the power of regret, sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of your past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And so we we turn to the Buddha, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So here's this refuge in our doctor. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon Buddha Vajrasattva's methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, facing the same direction as you. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. You can imagine he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has these beautiful eyes, long, peaceful, compassionate, kind, non-judgmental, and looking at you and just accepting you exactly as you are. So the same for you and all those people of your life. Looking at everybody exactly the same. Happy to see you. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up with a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing a wish for them to be free from suffering. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently, in the past maybe, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and we have compassion for them because the harm they've caused you will result as suffering for them sometime down the track. So make this strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we use visualization, light and nectar, and then we use the power of mantra. Mantra means mind protection. That's the literal meaning of mantra. So we start with the purification of the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. It arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And the next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and inappropriate speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawa siti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And the next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So as we say night after night, this is this kind of like analogy. You walk into a pitch black room and you switch on the light dispels the darkness. Imagine the same things happening to you as the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and it just dispels all the negativity of the mind, all the attachment and neediness and depression and anger and resentment and jealousy and grudges, bitterness, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering, and these are the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, and these are totally purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even those subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind stream. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So now feel you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process, and a really crucial one. And this is the determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. And this includes ourselves. So think of how your week's been going. Think of how the past month has been going, this year. And rejoice in the efforts that you've been making and rejoice in your progress. And as I've suggested, journal. Write things down, and you can go back and go, oh gosh, this is where I was then, look where I am now. As Rinpoche's sister told me, don't look up the mountain that you're walking up because you'll feel exhausted. You just look back and see how far you've come, and then you'll be encouraged. So this determination to not do things again that are harmful is what gives us the strength to change. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us, who wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, Rinpoche recommended to meditate on emptiness, just to kind of seal the practice. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created by doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So everybody, if you have His Holiness the Dalai Lama as one of your teachers, so make strong prayers for His Holiness to have a long life, dedicate this practice, and then the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and dedicate the practice for the long lives of your own spiritual guides. And here our dear friend Hin, who made it to 2 meditations today. Good on you, Hin. Fantastic. Well done. When you're not feeling very well, it's pretty cool. Okay. Lots of love, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks for hosting, you guys. And tomorrow